Fingers crossed. Come on, Q.
I think we're live.
Ah, great.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Are you sick and tired of not having enough money, health, and love in your life? Do you feel like other people know something more about these things than you do? If so, you want to pay attention right now and listen in, because we've got a message for you. I am here with Joy Kingsborough, and she is an amazing, amazing human being. And she loves to talk about money and creating wealth and expanding consciousness on the planet around those things. We're going to talk about universal laws today, quantum expansion. Joy's also a channel for a stream of consciousness she lovingly calls Jonah. And I have just had the most extraordinary experiences working with this woman. I can't express how much gratitude I have for all of the incredible changes that she's brought into my world. And when I started working with her, I was just coming out of being homeless for 9 months, and really so done with poverty and poverty consciousness. And I just wanted to find a way out of that. I was also dealing with severe chronic illness still at the time. And Joy really helped me come through all of that through many of her various programs that she created. So we'll talk more about that. But right now I want to introduce Joy to you and say, welcome, Joy. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you. I love that introduction. And I really am glad to be here with you today, Kristen. It's been such a beautiful journey. I've loved every minute of working with you and just watching everything unfold, being a part of that and celebrating with you, being frustrated with you and all those moments, like all the things that bring about big change. And I'm really honored to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. It has been quite a journey, and I'm so looking forward to it unfolding even more. And so Joy, I wanted to talk to you today about money, because this is such a big issue that I see facing people today. It's been an issue probably from the beginning of time, but it really seems to be so heightened right now, given the circumstances that the world is in. And also like the correlation between money and health, because I've really started understanding that at a much deeper level, doing the MindSHIFT program. I had already an inkling with it after going through the brain game with you, and Money MoJo has been huge for understanding the connection there. But could you talk a little bit about how those two are connected?
Well, I think I love how you said that money is, since the beginning of time, has been, people have had issues with money. And it's because of the true nature of what it is. We've all been looking for the perfect systems, which is very much how we look for in health too. I'm looking for the perfect solution, the perfect system, the perfect economy, or the perfect diet program, or the whatever it is. There's a desire for those things that is because there's a misunderstanding of what it really underlies both of these categories. And both of them have to do with the flow moving through our bodies, the flow of our own value, the flow of our own worth, the flow of our desires, the flow of what we're willing to experience with the world. All of it is related to flow. And so if you do not have flow, you're not accepting the flow of life in and out, and understanding the energetics of it, you're going to have health issues and you're going to have money issues. They really go hand in hand, as they do with relationships, as they do. It's all connected because the challenge is the same.
Right, absolutely. And that's so been what I've experiencing on this journey is, watching my health shift in a positive direction and watching my bank account grow. And, I was sharing a couple weeks ago, oh my God, my bank account is having babies, like the money in there. And it's so exciting. And yet, when I share that with people, there's like such a mistrust about it.
Mm-hmm.
I find that to be so common. It's like, it can't be that easy. Like,
Right.
There's gotta be a reason. Like, I can see their minds spinning, like, trying to figure out, there's gotta be an explanation for this that, makes sense in the paradigm I'm already living in, but it
Right.
doesn't work that way. Like that's the incredible thing about this journey, is that you really get to see that life is meant to be easy. And like when you step into, you know, more in alignment with your true self, like money just flows in,
Mm-hmm.
and it can come in from anywhere. And I share that with people and they're like, no, I don't get that. That doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
how can you not be working 60 hours a week and yet have a $200,000 income? Like they just, they're just like, no, that it doesn't
Yeah.
work that way, but it does work that way.
I have so much compassion for that, because it's from the lens that they're looking. It's true. What they're saying is true. It's not that easy. It's struggle. It's effort. It's lying. It's cheating. It's stealing. It's, there's all these ideas that work. And that's because there is a different paradigm they're living in. And the paradigm shift is the most important element of it, not just the understanding of what to do, because we could do two of the same things. You and I can operate with money from a place of flow and ease and expansion and all of these things. And it looks like unicorns and rainbows to other people, because they're coming from a place where when they try to mimic the behaviors that you're doing, when they see you and they're like, oh, I'll do that too, it doesn't work. And so then it's like, like, it's got to be a lie. And it's based on some very basic, actually, principles of the universe.
Right. And can you share a little bit about, like, just briefly, what some of those principles are?
Well,
Obviously.
yeah. So, yeah. Well, one of the main things is, I think, from a really simple understanding, really help the mind to get wrapped around, is that there are two ways of seeing the world. There's either seeing the world through the eyes of separation and through the ego brain mind, and that the material world is all there is. And from that perspective, there's a set of material laws, right? They're material laws that if you work hard, it should equal this, and you only matter if you have high value. So it's based on lack and greed, right? I have a lot or I have a little. And for me to have a lot means someone has to have a little. And if I have a little, somebody else has a lot, which means I've got to go to the people who have a lot so that I can have some. It's a limited experience. So that's the material world. When we're looking out at the material world, that's all there is. Most of our systems are built from that. So that material law is made up by man. It's a made up material law. It's not real. Universal law states everything is connected, that we are all one, and that energy flows through me, it flows through you, it flows through money, it flows through our foods, it flows through everything in the material world, and we're all that. So the law of one, I think, is understood really superficially. But when we dive deeply into it and make that adjustment, which is why that's the first conversation we have in MindShift, is to go really deep into the expansiveness of what the law of one really means, so that you can operate from that place instead of operating from resource and lack. You truly do shift your mindset. You have a paradigm flip or a pole shift where you're literally coming from the understanding that you're one and connected to everything, and whatever you want to have, you need only come from that perspective. But that's a shift, right? That takes a journey. It's not just something that the mind can hear right now and go, okay, we're all one, so this should work. That has to get integrated into the body so that you're behaving from that knowing, right? And then it opens you up to limitlessness, where there's no economy that predicts your income. There's no economy that's restricting the flow of anything. You are the creator of the economy. You're tapped into the source of everything that created man. So you go right to the source of it, right? So that's, I would say, number one. But then understanding that there are then 25 major laws that are connected to that are ensuring that if you believe that one, if you really surrender to that one belief, that the other laws and the other actions will now serve to accelerate your experience of that, which then becomes this fun we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so much fun. Like I'm just having a blast, working with all the laws. Like, I'm playing around a lot with the law of vacuum right now in my empty living room, because I, haven't gotten my furniture yet. And And it's just, I laugh every day. It's just so fun.
Right?
Like things come and then I move it out and then more stuff comes and I keep playing with it. And,
Yeah.
sometimes it's people and sometimes it's stuff and, whatever, but, or if I dance in the space, like I can keep it clean, or it's really fun playing with the laws and, playing with the ones around money have been a blast too. I just really dove into that this year and, started playing around with cryptocurrencies and stocks and watching the market and watching how money moves. And, like the first day I did it, I, kind of freaked out because the Bitcoin like is so volatile, and so I was like, oh my God, like it's, it's jumping all over the place and, almost gave me a heart attack. And then, I was able to just like ease into the flow of it and just be like, oh, this is really cool how this works, and I'm making money. And, it's exciting. And, when I really started being able to just have fun with these things and let go of the expectations and let go of control and, really just embrace like what's going on and trusting that even if I lost my whole investment, like I'm gonna have more like I'm the source of my money, so I'm not gonna run out of money, and just really like being able to embrace that. But if you would have just told me that 6 months ago
Right.
before I started MindSHIFT, like
Mm-mm.
there's no way I could have lived it, and
Right.
I really had to go through that process of understanding the oneness. And the same thing with my health, just really becoming one with my body. And I'm still on that journey, and I'm
Mhm.
still seeing stuff shift and still seeing things shift in my financial world and all that. But it's been so much fun to do,
Mhm.
in the beginning, not so much fun
Right.
because it took like, a lot of like undoing some of the programming that has been just so instilled. And but now it is just so much fun. And, I wanted to talk a little bit though about how important it was in the beginning of the program. You did this other sub program that you call Money MoJo, and how huge that was, how pivotal in like, can you talk about shame? Because
Mm.
releasing the shame around not just money, but so many other things, but focusing it on the money path, it just like lifted so much stuff and really like not being able to come into that sense of unity for real if you're carrying all this shame, right?
Yeah.
It keeps
Yeah.
you separated.
Well, there's really three categories of shame that we're navigating. We're navigating, what's happening for like from the body perspective. There's body shame, and that shows up in our health and all of these things that we're navigating. We also have our own like personal shame around our purpose, right? And what we think we should be doing and whether or not we're showing up for the right things. And, if somebody else is doing something and I'm good enough, right? And then we have mental shame. We have things, ideas we think we should be. So there are these categories of shame that when we are bought into them, or we've maybe navigated shame around one area, maybe you've navigated physical shame, but you haven't navigated shame somewhere else, it's still shame. And shame is one of the lowest vibrational creators. So it creates really low vibrational experiences with money. And so in order to tap into the flow of money, money is specifically, well, dollars and cents and digits and all of that, the cryptocurrency, the things that are that exchange of wealth, they operate based on truth. So truth meaning your vibrational frequency, just that, and for your body, it literally determines the flow that of how you experience revenue. So there's a law of circulation that's tapping into who you are. And when you have shame, you believe you are a low frequency being who is deserving of low frequency experiences. And so that's the number one thing we navigate first, not from the place of diving into and dissecting all of your shame, but just exposing it so that we can decide whether or not we want to believe that about ourselves or not. Right. And then navigate forward, which is really important.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was so powerful to do that work because it just really moved the needle in such a big way. And, you know, I remember we just finished the first day of Money MoJo, and I got a text notification that money that I had been waiting for it must have been 3 or 4 months at that point that I was waiting for it. And it all came in that night. Just after doing the shame removal. It was just
because it was waiting for you.
it was so powerful. But you know, it was like almost $8,000. And you know, it was kind of, it was really scary, actually. I'm not going to say kind of scary. It was really scary making the investment in MindSHIFT for me. And I knew I had to be there, and yet I deliberated and like kept going back and forth in my mind and talking to different people and trying to work it through, like being able to overcome that fear of making an investment in myself. And every time I've done a big purchase, what in my mind is a big purchase, you know, I've had that whole like over analyzing process, and you know, and then like you do it with trepidation and you know, all of that. And you know, and what was so amazing about doing that Money MoJo right in the beginning was like, I made the investment and then we did the Money MoJo, and halfway through Money MoJo, I already received my investment back plus some.
Right.
And I didn't have to do anything except be willing to look at the shame.
Right.
And release it. Like,
it's really so simple.
Yeah.
It's simpler than we want to make it. And so the material world, from those law perspectives, is complication. You've got to go through this series of healing steps. You've got to do this and that, and you've got to atone for this and atone for that, and all these pieces, all this stuff that you've got to go through, which then delays your experience with money in this example, or with health. But it also keeps pushing it way out, because every time you believe that your challenges or your shame is bigger than you continue to reinforce that belief, which means you never clear it. And so when you make a decision to look at it, right, and then to shift and use the laws, you just say, oh yeah, I'm actually bigger than that shame. I'm the chooser of the experience. I don't choose to live in shame anymore. I choose to play here. And just a moment of that choice where you say, I choose to play in love and willingness and acceptance and, you know, whatever else that you want to play in, the universe is awesome. Us too. So we'll raise the vibration of your entire experience to match it. And it's instant.
Yeah.
Just like, why would you? I look now and I always giggle, because I was, you know, I went on my own journey with this. It wasn't, you know, this wasn't like I was born with like, oh, I just understand the laws. I experienced a lot of pain and suffering in order to go, hey, wait a minute, something's not right here. Right. There's got to be something else. Like I just was like, this doesn't compute with, if there really is love, if there's a loving, you know, I start off with thinking, if there's a loving God, this is not it. Like, I don't understand. So it opened me up to that. But as soon as you get it, it collapses. Yeah. It's not like you don't need to justify your worth. You don't need to apologize for 10 years, 20 years, 50 years of not knowing that you're amazing, not knowing you're extraordinary, not knowing that you're not the shame. You don't have to, it's not like you have to then unwind for 5 years or 10 years. It is instant, no matter how long it's been. And that's what I love so much about being in a paradigm, like it's a paradigm flip. Yeah.
Yeah, huge. And we're getting some comments, and welcome, ladies. So great to see all of you. So Shelley said the awareness of the shame and blame was powerful to awaken and to shift. Absolutely. And Arlene says, yes, the process of exposing shame, which is so simple and powerful. It really is, you know, it's just, and I was trying to explain this to someone last week, and she's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, because you can't really get it until you experience it, you know? It's because it just seems like you were saying, you know, we try and overcomplicate it. And, you know, that's what our world has been teaching us, you know, and everything about money is supposed to be hard, and you have to work hard. It doesn't grow on trees. It does grow on trees. I just want to tell you guys, it grows on trees.
And everywhere else you want it to grow.
Everywhere else you want it to grow. And it is so easy, and life is supposed to be easy. And, like we were joking around at one point about, the Staples easy button, and, just like really, I've had so many easy button moments since that conversation, because I'm
Good.
really watching to see like, oh, wow, that was just so easy. And, I used to like procrastinate on stuff forever because I had built it up in my mind as this big huge thing that was so hard to do, whatever it was. And I'd put things off for weeks or months or whatever, and then when I'd finally do it, I'd be like, oh, that was so easy, why didn't I do that sooner?
Right.
And really just like stepping into being willing to let life be easy, and how powerful that is, and how that changes everything with, every area of your life.
Well,
And
that's it. Yeah, I love that. And because what you said there is really, I think, really helpful for those listening in is if you're, because sometimes it's like, well, I think I know the laws. I think I'm operating from that. Like I've been awakening and I'm spiritual and doing the things. And I think I'm flowing with energy. I understand flow. But if you're complicating it in any way, like you were just saying, if you're vacillating about something, if you're spinning about something for more than 20 minutes, you're in the material world. You're in a material mindset where you think the material consequences are bigger than you. And so if you're there, it's an indication you're not in flow. And there's nothing wrong. It's just your perception is in a place where things are harder. The universe is very, very simple. The universe is direct. The universe is, let's do it now. Let's do it again and again and again. We don't need to jump through hoops. That's silly. We created the hoops, so we don't need to jump through them. Like we can just create something else. So if you catch yourself there, that's an indication. Like a shift is welcome in that moment.
totally. And, I wanted to dive in a little bit on that note of how easy things can be, just to talk real quick about a quantum expansion, the Q, because I've been sharing a little bit about that on my profile. And, it's hard to explain it. It's so experiential, but I know if anyone can explain it, you can. It's about math and physics, and just how simple it is to create in the universe. So can you just kind of give us a brief?
Yeah, I'll try to do a kind of a simple way, because I could have so much fun with the math. I could like all of that stuff. But we have electricity running through the body, and it kind of wants to flow through in this way. I want to kind of describe the difference between like a healing modality and meditation and Q, because I think that really helps when we contrast it a little bit to see. But there's electricity moving through the body, and that electricity is like a battery that's ready to deplete or to charge. So your body is constantly running energy, and it's either running low or it's running full. And our job is to keep it running full, right? To keep that energy going. And so oftentimes we'll do things like do something that fills our cup, like self-care, like massage, or we'll go see a Reiki practitioner. We'll do something that brings in some of this beautiful energetic amping up. So we fill our cup energetically. So now the battery's full, right? So that's beautiful. Healing can do that. It'll fill the energy tank. The same thing with meditation. So meditation creates a way of taking your attention away from the body so the body can recharge, and that you can have a really fun experience with the universe. So you can have a conversation, you can tap in with the universe. Well, Q isn't healing and it isn't meditation. Q is saying, I see this battery here. And if you tapped into source energy, you could directly fill that tank, but you could also amplify it by using the heart, which is an electromagnetic field that is intended to expand and become abundant, to expand beyond the body. So this is measurable. This is measurable through heart math, and many other institutes have now understand that there are all these impulses that are moving in and out of the heart all the time. And they're moving with 4 different types of fields of energy, right? All energy at different vibrational rates. There's a strong force, there's a weak force, there's gravitational, there's source. So you have all these different energies that are flowing in that have different purposes. Q activates strong force energy. Strong force energy is intended to amplify over and over and over again, to not only increase the vibrational rate, but to move frequencies further from your body to attract experiences, to create experiences, to bring experiences back to you in an infinite circuit of energy, a literal infinite circuit that's moving from your heart back to your heart and calling in all of the experiences that match this amplified frequency. So we're not just filling the tank, we're filling the tank and then moving. It's like jumper cables on the heart, on the energetics of it, to move your desire and your intent in a really deliberate way out into the world. So it is creation, right? The others are healing and then play, and this is creation.
Which
right?
is play.
So, yeah, they're all play, but
so much fun.
Yeah.
So fun to cue.
So it's very active, right? The other energies are very passive because it's about just filling. It's like you're a bucket and you're being filled with universal energy in order to, regain your power. And then you go and deplete it and then you come back. So you have to tap in and refill the bucket all the time. With Q, you're the bucket and the hose. You're like the faucet and the bucket. You're both. Both are happening. It's limitless energy all the time. Like, I can't even say it. It's like life-changing. It was incredibly life-changing for me to be shown that was life-changing.
Oh, it is so huge. Like, how easy it is to create. It's so stupid easy once you understand it, and it's not something that somebody can like watch this video and like go and do it now.
Right.
You do have to learn how to do it and experience it and really embody the laws to really get it and be able to do it with big results, right? And people have been having big results, like one person called in their home, their dream home, and another person, a beachfront property, and there's all kinds of different things coming in, and I'm calling in all kinds of amazing stuff, and I'm already seeing the synchronicities when I cue. Like, there's these things are showing up in letting me know that what I'm queuing for is close, and it's really exciting, and I can't wait to come on here and show off all of the things that I've been bringing in. And I've already been bringing in the money and more love and more friendships that are really heart-centered and just really amazing stuff, and clients, and just it's been really fantastic, and it is so experiential. And I know today you're doing a free wealth activation, which kind of taps into that Q energy that we've been talking about. And you're also going to bring in a little bit of channeling, which we didn't really get too much time to talk about. But if people are interested in experiencing the things that we're talking about and how easy it is to really allow and open up that flow of wealth and in every area of your life, I encourage you to check out Joy. I put the link below in the comments. So you'll have the Zoom link. It's on Zoom today at 2 p.m. Pacific time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern time. And she's going to be doing a little bit of all of that for us. So really helping us just get into that flow a little bit more. And who doesn't want that? So,
right.
So you're all invited to join. Joy, is there anything else you wanted to share on all of this that we've talked about? Or
I was just thinking about all the changes, all the beautiful things, and it was making me think about the reason that I feel like I can feel the excitement of all of the things is not because of the things. And one of the things that I've noticed is that it's been about the peace for you in having the predictability of it, of knowing, oh, this is happening for this reason. This is happening for this reason, because you understand the laws, because you understand divine timing, you understand how it unfolds. And so one of the most immediate things is you're not saying when's my thing going to get here. You're like, oh, it's on its way. And that it's inevitable because you understand how this works. And so it takes away some of that tension that so many people feel that they know stops their manifestation and their creation energy. So I just love that. And I love that even since we first met until now, the peace that you carry, to me, that's number one reason to dive into this work.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is the crux of why I'm so excited and so happy about all of this, and why I want to share this with everyone else, because I want other people to be able to come out of the fear and anxiety that, generally speaking, society is so riddled with right now. And
Mhm.
it's so hard to watch because I've been there and I know how not fun that is to live
Right.
that way. And how empowering it is to really, like you said, understand the laws and apply them. And so if I do create something that I'm not a fan of, I know I have the power to just change it really
Right.
fast, really
Right.
fast. I don't even have to live with it that way. It's just, you can change it almost instantaneously. And that is so empowering, you know, to
Mhm.
know that I'm not a victim of any outside circumstance, person, place, thing. I can create the world that I want regardless of what's being created around me.
Right.
You know, like
Yes.
there were some, I don't know, there were some sort of riots or something here in Los Angeles last week. I didn't even have a clue. I wasn't
Right.
part of that energy. It just, I found out about it later and I was like, I had no idea anything like that was even going on. And it's not about burying your head in the sand, but just
Mm-mm.
not having to take part in all the drama
Right.
and not have that be part of my experience. And it's just been so freeing. And
Mhm.
really, you know, being able to experience that kind of freedom has been, it's been what I've been looking for my whole life, you know?
Yes.
And
Yes. Oh my
so,
gosh.
yeah, and that's really the gift of all of this. Um, and you know, the freedom and the love, I would say, you know, because the love that has been pouring into me has been uh, just like I couldn't ever imagine, you
Mhm.
know, to a level. And I know that it's even expanding more and more and more because that's what I'm cueing. That's what
Mhm.
I'm bringing in, and I feel it. And it's just so extraordinary. This is the way I want to live, you know? And so, you know, this is why I'm so full of gratitude and why I'm so full of passion for sharing all of this. And, you know, it's okay if people think I'm part of a crazy group because I'd rather live this way and be considered crazy than live the way I was living and be considered
Absolutely.
part of the norm. Like, this is
Yeah.
just so much more fun and easy and peaceful. So I do want to mention too, like you are actually going into another round of MindShift and
Mhm.
Money MoJo next week. So
Yes.
if people are interested, you're going to be sharing a little bit about that too at 2 p.m. And you know, if you want to try out MindShift, but you feel like you are scared to make the investment, like I was when I did it, you can try Money MoJo first. And if
Mhm.
you know, have a miraculous thing happen like I did, where you get the $8,000 or more or whatever, and you want to upgrade to MindShift, you can do that too. So, you know, you can take it in baby steps. And I really love that about this opportunity because it can be really scary to make
Mhm.
that investment in yourself. And especially if you do have a lot of shame, you might not feel worth it. And that can block you from actually taking that step. So, you know, baby steps then, right?
Mhm.
So we'll, you know, we'll talk more about that at 2, but yeah, it's just it's phenomenal, everything. Just I love living this
Ah,
way. I
me
can't
too.
recommend it enough. And I want everybody to know. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming on, Joy, and sharing all of that with us so that we can spread the message and really, you know, expand the love and the peace and the freedom in this
You bet.
world.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me, Kristen. Thanks everybody. I look forward to your reading your comments after, and yeah.
All right. See you guys at 2.
Okay.